Hello, welcome to Actual Play, Blades in the Dark, The Rusted Lock. I'm so happy to be here with my friends to jump back into Dustfall and see what mischief we can get up to. I'm Sean Nittner. You can find me everywhere at Sean Nittner, including now on Mastodon, because who wants to be on the Bird app anymore? Also at Sean Nittner. That's just where you find me everywhere. I am playing Ankh, the Whisper. She is an Eruvian noble sent here with the minor task of just capturing 999 celestial beings and imprisoning them and bringing them back. And yet she has promised her fellow cultist Prudence, penance. Sorry, not Prudence. This is what I get for not playing for a while.
It's been a while.
That we were in fact instead going to free them, and now that's what we're kind of sort of in the middle of doing. We're in a bad space. We'll catch you up on it. As always, the proceeds from the channel are split between Black Lives Matter and the Trans Legal Defense and Education Fund. So if you see that subscribe button, that cheer button, that throw us money button, do it, because the money will all go to good causes. I don't keep any of it. As soon as I get paid out from Twitches, sure. As soon as I get paid out, I just split it between those two. So yeah, and I hope you enjoy the show and do the clickety things. That's it for me. How about you, Kristen?
Hi, I'm Kristen. She, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kristen is no Jedi. Yeah, I joined Instagram. I know I'm so late. Don't at me about it. I am playing Penance, our cult's leech. And yeah, it's been a while, but as Sean said, we'll catch up. But I'm super excited because part of what happened last time is that suddenly Penance is kind of a babysitter for 6-year-old Ankh, even though grown-up Ankh is kind of like a ghost.
Sorry.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's going to be amazing.
Now she's babysitter for 2 Ankhs is what it really comes down to.
It's what it really is, yeah. Penance may or may not be taking some shots this episode. We'll have to see. How about you, Ray?
I mean, it's true. Disaster lesbians do need a babysitter. But anyway, so hi, my name is Ray. My pronouns are he, they. I'm really excited to be here. I am lucky enough to be the GM of this wonderful culty crew that we have. And yeah, we'll do a brief summary right before we get into it. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think we should jump in, right?
Jump in, do the thing.
Yeah.
Do that thing where like, not that this map actually tells us anything at all, but it feels we're in the game now.
It's very cool to look at. Yes. Accurate. Yeah. Okay. So, last time, basically, we stopped mid-score. You're in the middle of helping Skurlock, right? You're
baby Skurlock.
Yeah. Skurlock hasn't openly admitted that he's a vampire with you, but it's it's kind of it's impolite to talk directly about it. But everyone, but you all know. Okay, so Skurlock has asked for help with a rival, used to be a friend. It all seems very complicated, but basically, Lady Arabella has returned to Duskfall with the Timekeeper in tow. The Timekeeper is a truly terrifying figure. And what you've been able to piece together is that Lady Arabella is trying to make children, which is something that she and Lord Skurlock had agreed they'd never do, right? And so you have found your way to the secret lair of Lady Arabella and had started to make your way through it. You came across something most curious. What appeared to be the Timekeeper, but really was a vessel of Skurlock, who you have pieced together. And at this time, it appears to be a younger version of Skurlock, one who doesn't recognize Ankh and doesn't really know what's going on. And
hence, baby Skurly.
Yeah. Because while Ankh was very, very awesome, pulled out Skurlock from the vessel of the body, into his spirit jar, there was this tiny side effect of,
And this vessel, I think, if I remember correctly, was a hull that looked very much either like the child or like the timekeeper. I think it was the timekeeper. Right. So we thought we saw the timekeeper and we're like, oh no, is this the timekeeper? But then it was like deactivated, inanimate, and inside it was Skurlock's spirit, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. And then just as you were in the middle of pulling out, that's when I want to say quotation mark, the real timekeeper, but we're not entirely sure what's going on here with these different
the temporally consistent with our main storyline timekeeper.
As far as we can tell, yes.
As far as we can tell. The timekeeper we've seen on screen before, I guess.
Yeah, my favorite GM line is, as far as you can tell, as far as you know.
Yeah.
And my players who've been with me for a long time was like, oh no, he said it again. He said, as far as you know. And I was like, I'm just saying, because it's as far as I know too.
Yeah.
I might not know the future.
I like it when people suggest things and I'm like, yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. I mean, I would assume that. And they're like, but is it true? I'm like, well, I mean, I don't think we know, but I think it's pretty reasonable to assume it's true.
Right. 100%.
I guess we find out when we find out.
Yeah, which is exactly where we are with the timekeeper right now. So the two of you managed to escape. You had this brief thing where you came across the statue. I'm so grateful to Kristen writing down like this recap. It was super useful. But yes, you came across the statue of the Burned King, which we know is a Ankh. You had a connection.
Oh yeah, I sort of not accidentally, was just like, oh hey, Bluecoats, I'm down with Burned King as a way to get them to not confiscate our land. I basically was like, I'm part of your creepy secret society, so you should not, treat us like you treat other poor people, which is to beat them up and take their stuff. You should treat us like we're important people. And they believed me a little hard. They believed me a little much, like I was some prophet or oracle or messiah of the Burned King. Yeah. So
that won't come back. And
I feel like it was like I went into like a Scientology. Like I was around a bunch of Scientologists and I was like, I also have opened my third eye, and they're just like, oh shit, and now I'm like, oh crap. What do I do? What did I say?
Oh my God, so accurate.
Tom Cruise keeps coming up to me and I'm feeling uncomfortable about it.
This sounds like an anxiety nightmare I had at some point.
Right.
His platform shoes are 3 feet tall, and anyway.
But yeah, and so you went down the secret passage, came across the statue of the Burned King, and that's when you came across what was basically like a massacre, right, of the Dimmer sisters. They were here acting against Lady Arabella, right, for reasons we're not completely 100% sure of. And that was when one of the fallen Dimmer sisters basically like rose again, covered in these like poisonous flowers just falling forth, which is probably a clue to like the Children of Flowers that you came across like several sessions ago, right? Like way back then. Now you have a better idea of what that could possibly mean.
I do remember some spores like encroaching upon us, and us being like, "That's bad." That seems. There's a little segment in the opening video of flowers, bursting out of the soil.
Exactly.
Yes,
I don't want to be soil. I'm
just putting it out there, Ray.
Right. One day we will all become soil, but that day is not today.
Fair.
Fair.
But yeah, absolutely. So you do have an ally for now in this fallen Dimmer sister that has woken up again. So you
was
do
Dimmer sister? No, I don't think we've named her.
We haven't named her.
She's not appeared on the NPCs list.
Yeah. That's right. That's usually a sign if they have a name. The moment they're at
Yeah, right.
the list.
But and she was, if I remember correctly, we found her in a coffin. There are all these
Mhm.
coffins,
Yeah,
and
she
the
was half
coffin was
hanging
like,
in.
yeah, it was
Mhm.
like the lid was not completely on, and we sort of like pushed it out of the way and saw her in there, and she is dead with flowers coming out of her. Looking, is that
Yes.
accurate depiction?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I
Mhm.
Like
love the way Ray described it. So that's why I wrote it like this in the recap. The dead dimmer sister then rises and with flowers pouring from her eyes like tears, says she is here to avenge her fallen sisters. And that's where Ray ended it because he's amazing.
wow, Kristen, where are you writing these up? I didn't know that you
In
were.
scores. I just did it the last time.
Yeah.
I'll do it again this time.
Oh, thank you.
I
Yes.
figured a year after playing, I'll start taking notes.
Yeah. Solid.
The
Well,
true, the
I
true
used
experience.
I had 10 years of actual play recorded on my website where every single time I'd play a game, I would record it. And then I started streaming and I
Wow.
was like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to both stream. And I was like, it's there. Just go watch the video. But
Yeah.
it is really nice to have written up in text because it's much easier to refer to. It's much easier to go be like,
It
oh
commits it to
yeah.
memory for me.
Yeah. It's very smart.
So anyway.
It's very smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was thinking, what would we like to name her? What flowers do we see grow more out of what remains or what used to be her face?
I mean, this is probably because of uh, my recent infestation here. But what I've seen a lot of is oxalis or clover. I don't know if that's a enough of a flower. It's more of just a weed, but it's certainly a plant. But
Yeah,
if we'd like a flower, I'm down with picking a flower. But
no. I think that's cool. We can definitely go with that. With clover,
yeah,
yeah.
I like. Does
Also
that
one of
sound?
my favorite manga from Clamp, but yeah, clover is
Oh
definitely
yeah.
yeah.
Is that good with you, Kristen?
Is that what's coming out of her body? Yeah. Can we say that what she's crying is something different?
Ooh, I
Would
like
that be
that. What did you have in
okay?
mind? Yeah.
I had just like maybe like cherry blossoms. I just pictured these pink
Oh, I
small
love it.
So
flowers like
good.
pouring out of like white hollow eye. That's just how I pictured it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if it's on the back, if that's the only color and everything else is this like clover weed type thing, I think that's cool sounding.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think because cherry blossom trees are pretty. I'm just double checking. Yeah, cherry blossom trees are pretty brown, right? That they look
Mhm.
like normal trees. So I think if we just want to go with cherry blossom, then the body could be all this sort of brown wooden kind of look, and the
Ooh.
eyes are where all the blossoms are coming from.
Are you okay doing that instead of clover?
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah,
Cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I love that so much.
I
Very
love her
cool.
already.
Yeah. And so the smell of like it is cherry blossoms, but on the edge of like that rotting incense like
Yep.
smell, right? So she is there, like in front of you, having just promised that she is there to avenge her sisters and make sure that Lady Arabella pays for what she has done. We know that it was the timekeeper who slaughtered the whole lot of them without mercy, right?
Mhm.
And so we know that the ritual is still in effect. We haven't been able to completely disrupt it, right? So Anka, I remember you were able to like study and you've learned more about the ritual. You do know that what's going on is that Lady Arabella is doing something to empower her children, which
hmm
we know are collected in coffins. So that's why we're here in this like catacomb crypt like situation, right?
Okay.
So what is it that I was gonna say the two of you, but technically there are three. There's
Yeah, what are the three
there's
of you
Ankh in
doing?
the ghost field, and then there's baby Ankh right now,
Yeah.
and then there's Penance.
Um,
And then oh no, and then there's Cherry Blossom, so that's four of you.
there's four of us. Yeah. So I help me remember the means of communication, because we're in the physical realm mostly, but the veil to the ghost realm here is pretty thin, and we do have bounded darkness, so we are able to communicate via vibrations even across the ghost field. I think, if I remember correctly, that Penance and Baby Ankh are communicating normally, and Ghost Ankh has to make an extra effort to sort of be
Oh yeah.
heard or whatnot. So Ghost Ankh is kind of there, but unless Penance attunes or Ghost Ankh uses the power of them being bound in darkness, they can't see each other. Does that sound right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
All right. So Baby Ankh is peering at the folds in Cherry Blossom's leg. That's about like maybe her hip, and she's looking at the where like it looks like bark and skin kind of convene, and it's kind of like being like, you know how you get knots in trees where like bugs and shit collect, and she's like, are you growing, or is that a little bug, or is that just like she's like trying to put her finger in a little hole in the leg, like what is, and she's just very curious and
I'm
not at all
resisting the
freaked
urge to
out.
do body horror. I'm gonna step away from that temptation. I'm
I
gonna
mean, if
be nice.
something grows out of that hole, that's
Part
fine.
of me is
That's
sad.
how brain. That's how brains just go. But anyway, I just feel like, and tell me if you want Baby Ankh to be more terrified, but or if you think that it's fitting. But I just feel like her upbringing, like, yeah. So she's sort of poking at the fallen Dimmer sister and being like, "Do you have creatures growing in you or living in you? Is there a rabbit? Is there a squirrel? Is there, like what kind of little burrowing creature might live in your hip? I gotta know." And anyway, that's what she's doing. It's not very helpful.
Yeah. I think like there's a point where the Dimmer sister like bends over and the body like moves unnaturally in a way that the waist is not supposed to be able to bend at.
Yeah.
And she places like a rotting hand on your face and says, "Oh child, I'm not aware of the things that grow within me. It is not my place to say. But should they grow, I'm sure they'll say hello to you."
Talking squirrels.
Exactly. In some fashion. I'm
I
sure
think
they'll be
it's like what she says
squirrel-shaped
in some
enough.
fashion that Baby Ankh is like, that sounds maybe bad. Like I think it's that in some fashion that maybe hits her. Um I have an idea of what Ghostfield Ankh is doing as well, but Kristen, what do you think is going on here? I apologize. What I just said was completely
What?
not constructive at all.
It was perfect for Baby Ankh. It was narratively correct, and I love it. As I mentioned off stream, I think last time Kristen took over Penance just a little bit and immediately started to mother
Yeah.
Baby Ankh. So I'm gonna try to dial that back since Penance is not really a motherly type.
Fair.
So, like when you were talking about poking at the leg, I had this thought of like
I can see you resisting. I can see you going like, "Don't be a mom.
Don't be a mom." So Penance,
Don't be
ignoring
suspicious.
little
Don't
Ankh
be
for now, is gonna talk to our Cherry Blossom Dimmer sister and ask her what happened. What happened here? What do you need to avenge your sisters for?
Yeah, and so there's that moment once again where like unnaturally the head spins back before the rest of the body does, and the Dimmer sister says, "We were called here to bring about a balance. There were contracts broken made long ago between Lady Arabella and the first of the sisters. We were here to exact penance, and it was not given to us."
It's like me,
Yes, you.
me specifically.
I mean, there's a way that she words it that you
Yeah.
feel like it was on purpose that she used that.
That she
particular
used
word.
that particular word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I wonder. I think Long kind of like looks up at you, Penance, and I think just like to call out little Long's like, "Hey, that's your name." Right? Like just to make the subtext the text, right? So
Yeah.
how do you get Penance? I mean, she's here, but how do you get the Penance you wanted, the other Penance? Like, Does she need to pay a fine? Does she need to do some community work? Do souls need to be banished? Does she need to be pay in blood? These all seem equally reasonable to Baby Ankh.
When you say blood, there's a moment where more of the blossoms unfurl. Yes, blood. That was the agreement.
Whose blood?
And then the cherry blossom comes in close. Either her blood or the blood of the children that cannot be.
Are there still children left?
And then there's a moment where she opens her mouth and you can see like where the teeth are supposed to be, like more flowers are like growing forth. And she's about to answer the question when there's this huge sound of a door like slamming from across the room. And she grabs you realize actually, Ankh, like she grabs Penance's arm and she reaches out to grab the ghost field version of you, your arm, right? And says, yes, there are children who remain, and they grow more powerful with each moment. We must disrupt the ritual now, no matter the cost.
And and now I would like to cut to
Yeah.
what Ghost Ankh has been doing all the time. So we'll go from real world to ghost world. I don't really have good lighting effect for that, but I should be like darker, but I can't make it darker without getting up. So anyway, Ghost Field Ankh. Ooh. Let's see, maybe we'll kill a little bit more light. Yeah, it still doesn't do it. It's okay. Ghostfield Ankh has been listening and she keeps talking to Penance and is like super annoyed that Penance isn't responding. She's like, no, we need to disrupt the ritual. That's what I said. I said we need to. Why are you listening to her? And she's like pointing at Baby Ankh. Like, she is not going to help you right now. She's still thinking about the sugar sticks and she's probably going to stick them in a crack. And so there's a lot of exasperation of just like, why? Ugh. And what I would like to do is I want to convey something to Penance, but I want to figure out a little bit more about what's going on. Is it reasonable? So in my mind, if she is gathering all of this energy into the children, then what we need is a way to ground it out, and that sounds like a very Penance kind of thing to do. Actually, it sounds like a very Grounder kind of thing to do because that's his name. But it sounds like a very Penance kind of thing where you would find some sort of spark craft contraption / ritual / something that would able to like. So instead of all the energy pouring into these children, it would drain away into the ghost field, or it could be rediverted some way. And so I think since I'm in the ghost field, what I'd like to be able to do is attune to the electroplasmic energy, the spectral energies that are around here, and see if I can figure out where they're collecting and maybe how to disperse them. Does that sound reasonable from what I'm experiencing in the ghost field right now?
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. So I am going to be, don't be suspicious. I'm not going to be suspicious at all. I am going to, how do you use this application again? I know how to computer. I am going to attune. What's my position and effect to do this, or is this a fortune roll? I'm trying to gather information, but I could see it being dangerous.
Yeah, no, I think we're definitely desperate because of all the ritual magic, violent shenanigans going on. But I think we're at standard effect.
Okay, desperate standard, dig it. Because I have Ghost Mind, I get +1d to gather information about the supernatural. So I think that makes sense here. And I want to get great effect. I don't know, because I can't push to desperate. I'm already there. I don't know. I don't have any of my equipment because I'm dead. So I'll just have to get standard effect. That's fine. It's fine. I will just take standard effect. Yeah, I think that's good. I kind of want to put at risk myself, like getting pulled into one of these coffins, because it feels like she's trying to gather a lot of spectral energy. So if I get closer and maybe we start a clock that's like Ankh is pulled into the coffin, could that count as a devil's bargain?
Oh yeah, let's call the clock Ankh pulled into whatever lies beyond the ghost field.
Ooh.
Mm.
Ankh pulled into whatever lies and beyond the ghost field. How big is that clock?
I'm gonna say it's 4 ticks.
4 ticks? And we're just gonna put one on for this? Is that
Mm-hmm.
reasonable? Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, cool. I dig it. Desperate. And I'm getting 2 bonus dice, one for the Ghost Devil's Bargain and one for Ghost Mind. Well, it's a good thing I rolled all them dice.
I know.
All them.
You got that clock at the. Wow. See, this is why I love Forge in the Dark. It feels so good to get those extra dice. But as a GM, you never really have to worry. And sometimes they'll get a 6 on one. I love Fortune.
Yeah, I know. I've rolled 13 dice and gotten we did a 13 die group action one time for the most important roll of the entire campaign and did not get higher than a 3 on all 13 dice. We did one giant group action. It was the fate of our entire crew, and we whiffed it. And it was like, well, now I guess that changes the entire trajectory of this campaign. It was
amazing.
All right, but I got a 5, so that means.
But you got a 5. You got a 5.
That means I do it with consequence, so I'm here for it. Give me a mixed result there.
Awesome. So wait, I'm just trying to remember. I got so distracted by that amazing roll. You were trying to get information about the ritual, like how to.
I think all this spectral energy is gathering into the children, and I want to figure out how to disperse it or to redirect it or to like to I don't want to stop. Instead of trying to stop the ritual at its source, I want to like stop it at the end. So like essentially create some kind of ground to channel it out. Awesome. At least that's what I have in mind. I think in the gather information questions, I could say none of those apply. Never mind.
It's fine. No. I think it's still okay. So with that, like what you hear first is just this intense screaming. You flash back to that moment when you first came across a child in the train, when you first came across the timekeeper, right? And how much pain that child was in as energy, as spirit was being fed into it, force fed into it in a way.
Foie gras into spirit.
I was thinking about foie gras, but I didn't want to say it out
loud.
Oh,
sorry.
I'm glad you're here to say it, Sean. Because I was thinking it. But yeah, and so basically it's that same pain, that same terror, but like multiplied by dozens.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but you're able to like feel the pull of like how the energy is dispersed. And you know that if you get to enough of the children, right, and you find a way to forcibly disconnect them from the pathways of the magic and the ritual, right, there's a part of you that senses the easiest way to do it would be, the word is not kill. At this point, you can't really kill them. There's something about the way they exist between life and death that makes it impossible. But that is one option to disrupt enough of the flow. That the other, because like as you're doing this, you can see like there's a moment, and this is the consequence, which you can choose to resist as you like.
We'll
but
see. Maybe. Probably not.
I know how this group works. But you see that large, huge, like yellow eye, like peeking at you from across the corridors, like within the archways. And you recognize that it's the Lord of the Depths. And so the consequence is you've given them like this clear path here, and they will gain more power. If you give them enough of the children, it will also disrupt the ritual. But we also know that the Lord of the Depths used to be a god. And who knows what happens when you give a god more power.
Yeah. Yeah. So like that seems bad. It's one of those things where you discover something that's really powerful and you're like, I don't want anyone to have this. This is the yeah. Okay. So this is when I think it's when seeing the eye of Lord of the Depths in the ghost field that Ankh like forces herself to manifest to penance. I'm going to spend a stress to communicate, and I think you kind of see Ankh for the first time, like instead of just feeling a vibration, like you see her visualize. If that's okay with you,
Of course.
Ray,
Sorry.
you see Ankh visualize, but she's like there's like pieces of her missing. I don't know if you remember. I'm trying to pull it up. There's a great shot of a ghost in the book where like it's like lines of them are like cut out, and I think it's almost like a quarter of Ankh is like cut away, and there's all these empty space. Like
Nice.
1/4 of her from this clock is cut away, and she opens her mouth like she's talking, but no words come out, but you feel it through the vibrate. Like you feel it through the rusted lock, through the through the sunken pylon. Rather, you feel like up through the earth. You feel the vibration, and you can hear it. And Ankh says, Ankh says, in like an annoyingly curt way, like she should be more like, I'm alive or whatnot. She's just like the vessels must be destroyed, removed. The only way to stop this ritual, and it seems like it's difficult for her to like stay here. So the only way to stop this ritual is to remove the vessels that they're being channeled into. I think destroying them is an option. Maybe we can find another. How do you feel about feeding all this energy to a god that we don't know its means?
Did you make another deal?
It's not that I made another deal. It's an old deal has come to pass. Because I don't know what to do with all this energy. It's all this spectral. It's got to go somewhere.
Can we capture it?
I don't know. Maybe you could tinker together. Maybe you could create a way to distill it out back into the ghost field or to bottle it. But if not, I think and Ankh sort of like looks over your shoulder, and you just know that like she's looking at something that I think our housemate, because I believe the Lord of the Depths lives in the new mansion that we have. I think our new housemate is going to claim them. So we have to worry about both destroying the children and not letting that energy, and then she disappears. Like it's like that was as much as she could say before.
And what? Just like Ankh. It's just like you, Ankh. Just leave when things get hard. Okay. All right. Not you, little Ankh. Not you.
What was that? We gotta leave? Okay, I can go.
No, it's okay. It's little Ankh, you talk a lot. Has anyone told you that?
I have been told that I am precocious. That's a fancy word. And it is spelled PRECOCIOUS, I believe. Yes, precocious.
Is this a spelling bee? Little Ankh? Is this? No. Okay. Oh, Mom, Kristen is dying.
I know. I can tell you're like being mean to a child. Like I can see.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that
overcorrected, friends. I'm overcorrected.
The good news, I mean, it's very suitable for you to be frustrated with Ankh when she like disappears, know, in the middle of something, and then her little self is sitting there being a little brat.
Also, little Ankh is not in distress, which would be a different situation.
Exactly. Little Ankh seems so far totally
very well adjusted to
unfazed by this kind of shit. Yeah. I don't know why, but we can ask that question later.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Geographically speaking, Ray, where are the children? Are we in the like you just said a big door closed, so I think maybe something's coming. But like, are we in the room with a bunch of other coffins, or are they?
Ooh, right. So you are in a place like full of like coffins, and is coffin the right word? Like those huge stone,
Sarcophagi.
I'm picturing exactly what you're saying. Yes.
right, where you actually put the coffin in, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
like,
how I had been picturing it from the beginning too.
yeah,
We're on the
perfect,
same
perfect.
page. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like you're in a room like full of these, like there are dozens, but you know, like the children used to be here, but that's not where they are right now, right? So you have to go. But I remember you got a lot of information. You have the map in your head, right? So you do know where you need to go. It's not too far from here, right?
Okay.
You'll be able to make it within a. Sorry, I got distracted by the cat running around losing their.
The bell, just like, it's so cute. Like, it's funny because like most of the time, StreamYard and Zoom and those things like filter out background noises, but no, it's like, cat bell. Everybody wants to hear that.
Everybody wants to hear it.
That needs to go. That is voice we want to keep. That's not background noise.
Yeah. No, this is our most like quotation mark dangerous cat. So like her bell is really loud, so it's even louder here. Like what you're picking up is just just a small tinkling. But yeah. Okay.
Groovy.
Yeah. So you can get there relatively quickly.
Is the door that just slammed? Do we know where that is? Is that interposing between us and where we want to go? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's how these things work, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And so Cherry Blossom, like still has your arm grabbed on, right? That goes. You notice that she has no difficulty, like just reaching out through the veil.
She can reach to. She exists both in the physical and the ghost field. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, exactly. And she's been pointedly ignoring you while you've been freaking out and going like, "Why are you ignoring me, Ankh? Like, why are you ignoring me, Penance?" Right?
Yeah.
She's like, "This is not my conversation." But she's trying to communicate that time is of the essence, and then you can hear that telltale scrape of the coffin down the ground. You know, it's the timekeeper who's coming closer.
Mm-hmm. That makes me nervous in real life.
Yeah.
Every time I think of the drag of the coffin.
And I think just to add to it, Ankh, you hear this cracking sound. And when you look down, the little spirit jar that baby Ankh has is like that's holding Skurlock is starting to crack.
I forgot about that.
Right. We've got Skurlock.
Awesome. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Awesome. We got baby Skurlock. Spirit jar is starting to crack. We've got the door closed to where we need to go to, and we hear this dragging sound. So I think we're gonna run over to that door. And Kristen, just to freak you out a little more, I'm sorry about this.
No, I love it.
Penance hears behind her a scraping sound, and it's right behind her. And when you look, it's the fact that baby Ankh still has adult Ankh's sword like on her side, and it's like dragging along the ground because she's tiny and she still has the sword that's adult size, and all the clothes are like oversized. Anyway, and you're like, huh! Anyway, just to add a little spook factor.
Yes.
Because of course the end of the scabbard has a little like metal fixture, a little metal bit to keep the scabbard from the leather from separating. So anyway, somehow all the clothes just kind of like hang on baby Ankh, like, but
of course they do.
It's like a kid dressing up in her mom's clothes. Anyway,
Penance definitely flinches.
And she's baby Ankh, child Ankh. Like goes to the door and is like, "Oh, we've got to go through here." Yeah. And like looks through the little keyhole and tries to figure out. Ray, I assume that it's locked, sealed, barred, etc.
You can tell that it's difficult to open because all around the edges there is a strange black ichor that is just shifting and moving through, right? And so when you try to open it, the door resists.
Oh, right? like stuck, like this, like the ichor is holding it.
Yeah, and there's this sound.
I think when Ankh looks through the little eye hole and she like pulls away, like we see a little ichor like coming out after her.
Yeah,
like,
love it.
And there's a moment where Cherry Blossom just very carefully like picks you up and then places you on her shoulder and says, "Little one, if you stay close to me and hold on to me, I promise that one of your talking squirrels will come out. And if you're lucky, it will have more than one mouth."
It's like the hobbits riding the Ents.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. I think I grab onto like a bushel of root. No, not root. Stock. I think I grab onto like a bushel of stock to hold on to, and I'm just like, I've been lied to before, lady. I know. The proof is in the pudding. But
You
anyway,
have family, basically.
what's that?
Ankh has had that kind of family, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The demon hunting training family will lie to the children. Unsurprising.
Yes, exactly. So she's very much like, I'll believe it when I see it. But yeah, I think that does mollify her enough that she's not like actively getting herself in more trouble.
Mhm.
Kristen, how do you want to get through this door?
Did we say it was locked?
I don't think it's locked so much as that ichor is in the seam of it and it's keeping it.
Okay.
It's like,
Oh, right, the suction
Yeah.
of it being like closed.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, Penance is gonna attempt to.
Do a leech thing.
I'm
I
gonna
feel like
wreck
a leech
it.
thing would do. Yeah, that's what I was feeling like.
I'm gonna wreck it, especially since I have Saboteur, so I can wreck quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So we haven't talked about this yet, but I took Artificer. Is that how you say that? Last time. So when you invent or craft a creation with Spark Craft features, take +1 result level to your roll. You'll be able with one special design already known. So I have an idea for the design that could help us a little bit interrupt the ritual. So I won't use that now. But I just wanted to put it out there before we get to that point.
Very cool.
Right.
Yep.
And then I would like to say, though, because I came normal with a normal load and I do have some fine wrecking tools.
Yeah.
So I just want to use some sort of
a specialized set of tool for sabotage and destruction.
That,
a small,
yeah.
powerful drill, a mallet and steel spikes, a pry bar, an electroplasmic battery.
Ooh.
Just some possibilities there.
Vials of acid. God, Penance really wants to throw acid on this door, but
Why not? Why not?
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah.
A spark torch cutter. Let's do that. I'm gonna cut the hinges off this door with like this little, like what you use on creme brulee if you bake or cook. Penance already has the mask.
You've already got the mask. Yeah, I think you can go full on arc welder here. You've got the little electroplasmic tank. Also, I wonder what that sort of fire. I've been trying to think of like what you do about this black ooze. Is it something you try to attune to? Is it something that you try to is there a way to get rid of it? I'm very curious as to how it responds to white hot flame.
Yeah, let's find out.
So let's roll for it. So you have 2 in rec.
I do. What's my position?
We are still in desperate because that thing is getting much closer. I mean, we know what that thing is. So,
yeah. Okay.
Desperate standard.
Oh boy, I have.
Oh, Sean, did you mark XP earlier for rolling in desperate? Okay.
Yeah, I marked XP. Is it better effect because she has fine tools to the
that is correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kristen, I'm just gonna mark because I'm.
Oh, thank you.
Because I'm like that. I'm gonna mark your 2 load for the.
Cool. So tools. I am desperate. Great.
Desperate great.
That's correct.
I think I can think of a way that I could.
I didn't assist you before because I couldn't even see you or hear you.
Exactly.
I couldn't. That's the only reason I didn't assist you.
No, it was a thing that I was doing, I think, while you were having other conversations. Like, narratively, it was something Ankh was kind of doing on her own anyway. But this, we're all here. And adult Ankh does not think that the body of Cherry Blossom is long for this world. Like, this body is basically held together for a purpose. That Ankh, with no actual verification of this, Ankh believes that this body is going to stay animate as long as it needs to for it to complete its purpose, and then it's going to be gone. And therefore, it is disposable. So, since Cherry Blossom can interact with both the ghost world and the the physical world.
Mhm.
Ankh suggests that she, because that ooze was kind of like coming out at us. Like Ankh suggests that she make herself a target, like let the ooze kind of envelop on her, so that it like goes away from the door and onto her, rather than say,
And onto
penance.
Cherry Blossom?
Or yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you asking Cherry Blossom? Are you like gonna talk?
No. I'm like, we need to go through this door, and I grab her wrist and I slam her hand against the door.
Okay.
I'm not asking.
Okay.
Does care about. No, I'm not asking.
Okay.
Who knows what's going on in the mind of Ankh? But like, I think you just see Cherry Blossom's hand like suddenly lurch forward and smash into where the ooze is kind of coming out, and it starts going over her.
Okay.
So that's how I'm. Is that cool, Ray? Am I able to do that since I can interact with?
Oh yeah, sure. But Cherry Blossom is gonna remember this.
Oh yeah.
You could have asked her.
Yeah.
This will never come back to get us. It's fine. Nothing.
I could have asked her, but then she might have said no. So.
Can I also hear a devil's bargain?
Of course you can. I'm going to say my devil's bargain for you is that this is going to be the most inopportune time to get a flashback to your time with Lady Arabella or the Timekeeper.
I'll take it. I can't turn down a good devil's bargain.
Right. So as you see, oh no, go ahead.
I rolled.
No, that's okay.
A 6. See, it's a good thing I took that devil's bargain.
And it was the last one. It was the last again. It was the last die.
Yes.
Absolutely perfect. Okay. I apologize for there's like this weird alarm that's going off by accident in my apartment building. So I apologize if it's coming onto the stream. But anyway, so
no, StreamYard's blocking that out completely.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Good job, StreamYard. Good job. Yay. Can't block the kitty bell, but the blaring sound alarm is. But anyway, okay. So basically, as you reach out, so you're using the torch on the slime, basically that's being pulled out by, like, it's reacting and reaching out towards Cherry Blossom's hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as you do that, you can see like the white hot flame comes out, and the ichor like recoils for a moment, like it takes on the strange shape as it tries to get away from it. And you see Cherry Blossom like reach out and grab the ichor and pull it closer, right, to the flame to make sure. But you can see how it's eating away at her hand and eating away at and whatever is like underneath her hand is even more unpleasant, right? Like you realize there are truer horrors underneath that the flesh has been keeping at bay at this point.
We were spared the worst of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But as that happens, like, Penance, you're pulled into this like incredibly, this feels so familiar to you, right? And you pull back in time and you see like yourself holding out the Timekeeper's hand, and there's a flame that you're putting to it. I'm not going to go into any more detail, but basically you hear yourself asking, can you feel this? And the Timekeeper says, no, mother, should I feel it? And you say, yes, I have to make sure that you can feel pain, so it's easier for you to inflict it on others. And you hear Lady Arabella in the distance ask, do we really need to do this, Penance? And you say, yes, my lady, anything to protect you, whatever the cost. And as part of the devil's bargain, this is a memory that's not going to go away.
Okay.
But the door opens.
Okay.
Right.
But
I see like the thing fully burn away, and the door just slides open.
Okay. But I think Penance is in like a fog or a daze for a minute here. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. I don't imagine narrative. I don't imagine that she can just snap back to full attention, right? That's a pretty intense memory. So
I imagine that it's baby Ankh that has to like grab a hold of her hand and be like, "Come on, we're going."
Yes.
Keep up.
This tiny hand just slaps Penance.
I think she does this thing where she like holds on to the stalk of some coming out of like the back of the head or neck of Cherry
Yeah.
Blossom and like reaches out all the way over. Oh, sorry, I got the wrong lighting. We're back in the real world. A scene tech I am not. And like reaches all out and like grabs his shoulder and like, Penance, pay it, Penance, Penance.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
We gotta go.
Okay.
I think there's a bad guy coming.
Do you see a bad guy?
No, I mean, all that thumping and scraping. I don't know. It just seems like a bad guy.
Yeah, it's probably a bad guy. You might need to close your eyes at some point. No, not. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, "Oh, it's okay. I've got a mask," and she like pulls out the owl mask that like is kind of somehow oddly still fits her because children's heads aren't proportionally
That's
quite
true.
as
Yeah.
small. She's like, you know, I mean, obviously the mask has eye holes, but you know, she's like, I can protect myself. She does not put it on.
Perfect. Yeah, and so like as the I have to keep correcting myself with how many there are. I'm so used to just saying the two of you when I run this game.
It's the four of us.
So as the four of you go through the door, I'm going to say you quickly move through. Ankh, you're like leading everyone to where you have to go. Like Cherry Blossom is listening to you and can hear you.
Yeah.
As you make your way towards where most of the ritual is taking place. But like no matter how far you go and how quickly you move, you keep hearing that scraping sound behind you. You get this like sense that it's almost like the timekeeper is like making sure that you're always just a little bit ahead. Like you're starting to suspect, are you being followed or are you being herded somewhere?
Oh.
Yeah.
But you do reach where you have to go. You do see like, so this is a similar area except the sarcophagus and the like there is some strange, like, are they called mausoleums, right? Where usually
the mausoleum is usually like the little house that goes around the sarcophagus where you can put flowers and religious symbols and, you know, paintings and things like that. Yeah.
But yeah, so like underneath, and like a lot of them are waterlogged, right? Because this is like below Duskfall and everything.
Yeah.
So you can see the water damage because the flood comes here once in a while, right? And you can see there are like several mausoleums that are like built into the wall, like at some point things must have been straightened out and perfectly, but like everything's just slightly crooked. And like for a moment, Ankh, you swear like one of the mausoleum, the doors are open and you see the god of the depths like blinking at you and silently telling you it would be so easy if you let me help you, before like you blink again and the doors close and the god is not there, right? But as you get here, Ankh, it gets harder and harder. Like the screaming has hit like this feverish pitch, right? So it's going to be difficult for you to like concentrate on anything. But
the screaming of the children.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm,
do we see them or do we just hear them coming
yeah
from the...
Yeah, so you see like there's this huge roiling mass of like black ichor, the same thing that was like holding back the door, the same thing that you saw crawling after you back in the train. But the children have like, they're sort of like holding on to each other, and you can see there's like about a dozen of them, and it's just this, the heads shift and move every once in a while. There are too many arms, too many legs, too many eyes, right? And you can tell they're having a hard time. Are they holding on to each other? Are they trying to break free from each other? And in the middle of all of it is all of that like spirit energy that's just being pulled in from the mausoleum, from the coffins, from like other places in Duskwall. You realize that Lady Arabella has been working on this ritual with the timekeeper for a long, long time. It's a very intricate web of like horrifying magic.
Yeah. Let me say that back to you so I make sure I understand it, or at least it's like Ankh, at least it's Ankh understands. So first off, every time I blink, I like open my eye and I see the eye of the Lord of the Depths being like, "Hey, I'm here." But more importantly, in the center, in this, there's a mausoleum that's all waterlogged, And there is and when we say the children, I think we're talking about Dimmer sisters. We don't know people.
No. Yeah, you have a feeling the Dimmer sisters were probably killed too. Further,
Long
like
time ago.
yeah. Oh, the ones that were outside that were
Yeah.
trying to like stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ritual, but these ones are like. These are like the similar because you came across one child before, like in the
Mhm.
train, right? So like this is a similar situation. Like it's not necessarily the Dimmer sisters, but yeah.
Right. But it's people who are all bound, and their bodies are morphing into each other and whatnot. And they're sort of surrounded by this black ichor, kind of holding them in place, maybe keeping them from getting free.
They are the black ichor, which is
They
even
are
more
the
hard.
black ichor. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then
I will also point out that it's not a coincidence that they're called the children and the Dimmer sisters have the children of flowers. Like there is a connection of some kind. Yeah. Mhm.
I love it. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. That I think that these are the children of flowers that Lady Arabella has like taken. Like they're supposed to be whatever Cherry Blossom is, or whatever the Dimmer sisters do. We don't quite know that, but she has perverted whatever they are and kidnapped these children and added them to this roiling mass of flesh and mouths and arms and fingers and teeth and eyes, and is channeling all this spectral energy into them to make some monstrosity. Did I get that kind of right?
Yeah.
I mean, at least from Oz perspective, I don't have to be right about it, but I just want to make sure I'm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, in fact, just seeing all of this is incredibly traumatizing to both Ankh and Penance. I mean, I kind of feel like baby Ankh can't even really like absorb what she's looking at, but for and Cherry Blossom is Cherry Blossom. So, but for Ankh and Kristen, yeah, I mean, and Penance, there will have to be a resistance roll of some kind just to be able to stay here in the room.
Right. Neither of us, I think, have iron will, right? I don't. Ankh does not. I did not take it. No. Yeah. So iron will lets you sort of ignore scary, ghosty things, but we don't have that. So, yeah, I think it's important to me to not flee.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I'll make a resist roll. I assume it's resolve.
That is correct.
Okay. Resolve. Thank you.
That's our good one. Thought I had a bonus to resolve resistance rolls, but I.
Oh yeah, is it? I'm trying to remember.
Is there a cult ability? Let me just check real quick. See if we do the fun part of the game when we look up the rules.
Ghost echoes.
No, never mind.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, I remember there being but yeah,
that's fine. All right, I'll make Ankh's resolve roll.
Oh, we took training and resolve. Okay.
All right.
Let me go back. No bonus die, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But we both have good resolve.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
For some reason, I thought you had a third dot resolve. Never mind.
No, it's okay. That's okay.
It only means you get 2 stress, so that's not bad.
Yeah. Okay. Marked.
I
have 3 more stress until I trauma out. It's fine.
You're fine. I do think that there is. I think we sort of see Ankh visible again for a moment, and you see like the lines cut away from her, and she's sitting there. And I think one thing just hit me. I don't think, even though the screams are really upsetting, I don't think they're causing me a headache anymore. Is that fair to say that because I am actually dead?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
like they hurt my physical brain, but they don't hurt. And Baby Ankh doesn't have Ghost Mind. Whatever happened to Ankh, she got like the ability to always hear ghosts. Baby Ankh doesn't have it. It's there. She's not anyway. So yeah, you see Ankh for a moment. She's like, they keep screaming, and then she kind of like fades back out again. But just because we don't hear it in the physical world, right? The screaming is just
So Penance does not hear this.
I think Penance at the most, it's just like, what is it like? Is it called tinnitus?
Yeah, like a ringy, like a high pitch.
Yeah, but
Yes.
it's like like you can't quite hold on to the sound, right? Yeah, that's it.
No matter what, Aunt can never escape the ghost field being crappy. Even when she's a ghost, it's like, okay, I'm finally a ghost. The ghost field doesn't bother me, except for these screaming fuckers.
At least it's not painful.
At least it's not
true.
painful.
That's
right.
true.
So the two of you are able to like hold on to your resolve and stay here. Like, I assume there's a way that both of you have been like, I can look at the mask without looking directly at the mask,
Yes.
right? In order to like, stay here. But yeah, and then
I was just saying, I think for Ankh, it's like she blinks and she sees the eye of the she sees the eye of the keeper of the depths, and she does not blink again, and she like focuses on it. So it's like look at that, so you're not having to look at, like, she's like, I see you, I'm watching you, gonna do this thing over here while I'm watching you. Sorry, do this thing over here while I'm watching you.
I think for Penance, even though I know it was a consequence and it will affect her for the next couple minutes, I think the haziness of the flashback is kind of what helps her stay, because she feels almost like it's not, she's still kind of rocked, right, from that memory, and kind of doesn't feel really 100% here.
Yeah.
Which means that she can't fully process what
she keeps remembering that. It keeps coming back. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Are there any physical apparatuses that are channeling this spectral energy, or do we just sort of see it seeping through the ghost field?
So you see, like, built into several of the mausoleums, right? Like in the pillars and like through the doors, you recognize that there's several sparkcraft, right? And there's like several devices. You can see the wires moving underneath through the soil, and so it has been built into places here in the mausoleum, right? So like there are about like 6 of these mausoleums, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Kristen, what do you think? You want to? I mean, I think we need to, like, I think we cannot sufficiently sabotage the ritual itself without first dealing with the children, the mass, the whatever it is.
Yeah, and Ankh, how do you want to use the knowledge you have about how to disrupt it, right, and disperse the energy?
Yeah, I mean, Ray, I think what you sort of offered up to me, at least, is like, obvious choices are destroy them,
and destroy at least a few of them.
What's that?
You destroy a few of them. You don't have to kill all of them. Just enough to disrupt it, right? Like,
or like feed them essentially to the Lord of the Depths,
which would be very easy. You don't even have to roll for it. You know,
I could just do it. Yeah. So I think, do we consider this another? Do you want me to spend another stress to communicate with Penance? Is this another scene? I don't remember what the rule is. Whether or not I have to keep spending stress.
Yeah. Let's double check. I do think it is a stress.
It says, by taking the stress, your whispered message is heard by every cultist. Okay, yeah, it's really just one message, honestly. It's not even like, okay, so I'm going to spend another stress. Fun times. Yeah, I can take also 3 more before traumaing out. Perfect. And like, you can tell this is taking a lot of energy from Ankh to appear and manifest in front of you. And she says, we need to destroy the children, that or feed them to something we do not want to feed.
No, we need to destroy them.
And it's clear, like, Ankh is not really excited about this premise, but like we gotta just wreck this.
Why don't you look more excited about destroying this?
Because they're like innocent. Ankh doesn't say this, but like Ankh doesn't feel good about this because they're like just like innocent people that have been like dragged here and are being like these are not
Oh,
like. But like there's also
I don't
probably
think
not.
Penance is thinking that.
There's probably not really anything left of the like how much of them is left. They're like all these mouths and eyes and
Yes.
things like that. But there's a
Very
part of
much. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, you go on.
Oh, no, you're going to be sorry you said that. Very much like Dean from Supernatural, which we discussed back a few
Oh yes,
episodes. It's a monster now. So Penance has no like this is just a monster that we have to
right.
deal with. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is Anka Sam having the conscience of being like, but it's people.
Yeah.
So Ray, I want to propose an idea that I think might be making things harder on each other on ourselves, but I think instead of just outright destroying them, we can destroy the singular entity that they are formed by trying to rip them apart. But I think that would mean like exposing ourselves to this black ichor and
Mm-hmm.
all of these spectral energies and whatnot. I don't think it's trivial to like get in there and do it, but I'm wondering. I want to propose, and they may not survive it, and if they don't, that's fine. But uh, I think Ankh says, the lady wants to combine them into some great and horrific monstrosity. We need to pull them apart, restore them back to the individuals they were once before, so that they cannot be combined.
Do you say this to Penance?
What's that?
Do you say that to Penance?
Yeah.
What if we can't save them? What if we can't pull them apart and save them?
And I think she's like about to just like fade away. Uh, like I think she's
Love
about to
it.
like run out of juice.
Yeah.
So if you would, I'm going to invite a little bit of sort of PvP here. Tell me if you really want to try and convince Ankh like to give up on that and just go full destroyer mode. I
Yeah,
am
I
open
do.
to it, but I don't think Ankh is ready to just like. I think unless you're just like Ankh, get with the fucking program. I think you're gonna have to use firmer words, or maybe not firm words, but I think I want to see.
Thinking.
Um,
Yeah, I think it makes narrative sense, and here's why. Because Penance just remembered for the first time in who knows how long that she created the timekeeper, and that there was even a point where Lady Arabella said, "Is it necessary to go this far?"
mhm,
And Penance pushed it further.
yeah,
And because Penance pushed it further, this creation, this thing is now out there.
yeah,
Penance can't be responsible for letting anything else
cool.
free. So I think if Ankh disappears, I think, and this is probably going to draw attention to ourselves. So if you want to pull me back, you can. But I think Penance like raises her voice.
Nice. No,
Like
I think
Ankh, like you have to pick a side. You have to do the right thing. Now is not the time for you to suddenly grow a conscience and a heart. Let's destroy this thing and get your little self out of here.
nice. And I think like Ankh is like fading back into the ghost field and like looking at her baby self, who is maybe paying attention, maybe not. Yeah.
It
I'm
probably needs a
happy to make.
roll. Yeah.
What's that?
It probably needs a roll, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm happy to just call it a fortune roll just to see how
Mm.
much it is. I don't need you to have stakes per se, but I am curious as to whether or not. I think if you get a 6, Ankh is like, absolutely, you're right. I don't know what I was thinking. I
Mm-hmm.
think if you get a lesser result, Ankh will probably still go along with you, but he's gonna have
Sure.
hard feelings about it. So
Sure.
yeah, what action do you want to take? It kind of sounds like you're commanding, but it could
Guys,
be a tuning because I am in the ghost field. If you want to roll your,
no, I think. Oh, where's a tune? I have a dot in a tune, and I have no dots in command. But I think it's command, and I'm
yeah,
willing to
willing to
take it.
roll it. All
Yeah.
right, see how it goes. You got a 1 in 36 chance of this just going swimmingly.
Yeah. Or I could give you a devil's bargain.
Increases your
Okay.
odds sixfold of getting
Go
a perfect
on.
result.
Go on,
My
Ray.
devil's bargain is that I'll offer you another memory that you'll recover.
God, I love when penance is becoming unraveled. Yeah, I'm gonna take that for sure. Okay.
So, as you're screaming at Penance, right, and you see like Penance's face flicker in and out, right, in response to you.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ank's face
Okay,
flicker in
yeah.
and out in response to you. And then that's when you remember like Lady Arabella's face very close to yours, right?
Mhm.
And she places both hands on either side of your face. And she says, Penance, are you sure this is what you want? And you hear yourself say yes as Lady Arabella leans in to kiss you.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Oh,
Can I be
geez.
mirroring this action? Can I be like, are you sure this is what we have to do?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think I try to like put my hand, like you yell, can I stop? And I try to put my hand on you, but of course I can't touch you but nevertheless, you can feel the tingle of the electroplasmic energy around me, the spectacle. The back hairs of your neck, if they haven't already gone up from this monstrosity.
Oh, if they're up.
I'm sure they're
but
up. Nevertheless, you feel the coldness of Ank's
Yeah.
presence.
Oh, yeah.
Of her ghostly presence. Yeah.
Lady Arabella's hands are very cold but very comforting.
Mm.
Yeah. Ank's hands could be cold and comforting.
I know. I've held them before.
Like speak to disaster lesbian.
different time.
All right.
Let's do it. Cool, mixed result. I think that's perfect.
All
Ankh
right.
does it and is not going to sit well with her, or
Yep.
she agrees she's not going to sit well with her. Yeah, and I think just like when you told Lady Arabella, yes, this has to be done, and she went, I understand. Even if I don't like, she went, I think if it's okay with you, Ray, for me to put words in her mouth, she said, if it must be done, it must be done. And that's what Ankh says as well, just to make things fucking weird. And make things weird
it,
and
like,
awkward.
Fades in and out. Yeah.
I think it's, you hear the memory of Lady Arabella saying, if it must be done. And then it comes back to Ankh saying, it must be done.
And there's this confusing moment of, is Ankh gonna lean in to kiss, or no? Of course not. But there's
definitely not this weird ghost.
Viewers are gonna obsess over on Reddit and Twitter for
There's one camera angle that this is shot from where it actually looks like they're kissing, and then when the camera spins around, we can see that's just because of the
I
like
I love it so much. Okay.
How are we gonna do it? Are we gonna wreck this thing? Are we going to attune to the spectral energies and try and like overcharge them and blow them up? You have some accoutrement. You said you wanted to use a device that you could say you have.
Oh yeah, the saboteur. Is that
no, I think it was Artificer, that you get to have a free device that you've made, a free Sparkcraft device that you've made. Technically, I think it's that you have the plans to make it, but we could do some retconny flashbacks into downtime actions by spending some coin to have actually had made it at this point. Yeah.
That's what I was going to do, is flashback, if that's okay.
Cool. Yeah,
totally. I totally started to choke. Not what we want to do on stream.
Let's do the inventing roll then.
Okay.
Because there are rules for it. So, strange forces.
Do you have those?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, in our compendium.
In the compendium. I think it's in Strange Forces. I thought it was. Rituals. Hold on. I know how to use this. I know how to use this tool. I wrote it. I made it. Crafting. There we go. Boop, boop.
Thank you for the game, John.
Of course. So, I don't know if that's big enough to be read, but Ray, I will give you a question that you need to ask.
Yeah, actually, I can see it. I just pulled it up in my
you can. Okay, cool.
Compendium. So, what type of creation is it, and what does it do?
So, I was thinking that Penance made a few different. like grenades almost. Like they're round and silver. They're almost like a holiday ornament, but like round and silver. Yeah, yeah. And each one is different. But I will use flashbacks and rolls in the future for the other 4. We don't know what they are or if they'll work. But I think after the train incident where we had to put up all those lightning rods around, like Penance basically wanted to create something that would be in oil. So I imagine it to be like almost like a silver ball with oil inside of it and spark craft all on the outside. So it's like lightning, like all this blue and purple.
Oh
And
my gosh. Yeah. Can I
the
suggest?
gold oil? Yeah.
Do you remember those weird paperweights that had like the ocean, the blue thing?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like thinking there's something that you have to like click so that it unleashes a different type of oil within the oil that will start this like chain reaction.
There could be 2 different fluids in it, and they're separated until you pull out the little thing, and then they merge. One is electroplasm, demon blood, refined demon blood, and the other. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
I love it.
We're all building on it. This is perfect.
Yeah, and this is like the CSI close-up shit, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we go inside of it.
What does it do?
So I think what it does is it holds or suppresses any sort of like ghosts from getting away. So it's not going to completely solve our problem because that's way too meta. But after the last ritual, Penance needed something that would stop these things from leaving the area, right?
Mm-hmm.
From just going out in a much more compact, nice little ball. Until we can deal with it.
Could I add
Please.
Could I add a little bit of lore here? Could it make an artificial spirit well so that it has like this gravitational force that like pulls the spirits into them, and it's temporary? It's temporary unless, I don't know, maybe you do it enough, a real rift becomes present. But so it sort of like pulls spectral energy into it, and
we flash back to like Penance studying the spirit well you have, which I have to point out Athea went down into last time.
That's how we got rid of Athea, right? Is that we let her get sucked into a spirit well, yeah.
Oh, I miss Athea.
Well,
she misses you too.
I bet she does. That's horrifying.
All right, so now Kristen. So we know it's a little bomb that makes a temporary spirit well.
Yes.
Now, Kristen, you have to ask this question, which I put in chat.
Oh, the minimum quality level?
Yes, you have to ask that question to Ray.
Oh, okay. What is the minimum quality level of this item?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, Sean, do you have ideas? Because I think
like No, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, I feel like it has to be pretty high quality to be able to do this without imploding.
Yeah.
Right? Is what I'm thinking.
I'm looking at existing bombs from Sparkcraft. A grenade, which is a small explosive charge with a short fuse that detonates metal shrapnel, is tier 3. A large bomb, a heavy bomb, explosive charge with a large fuse is tier 5. And a smoke bomb is tier 2. Looking at other things that deal with spectral energies, I know there are a couple. Skullfire, Silence Potion, Drowning Eye Blind. Come on, where these all sound so freaking cool. Quicksilver, which is a toxic metallic fluid that opens the user's mind to the ghost field, is tier 4. So I feel like it's tier 4 at lowest, probably tier 5. I think it's probably tier 5
because it combines these two things.
Yeah. If you're looking at like the spectral effect of Quicksilver at tier 4 and the explosive effect of the grenade, yeah. So tier, yeah. And then Ray, you've got
the next question, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, what rare, strange, or adverse aspect of this formula or design has kept it in obscurity, out of common usage? I mean, I feel like
Why
it
doesn't
just.
everybody make these things?
Why
Yeah,
doesn't everybody make these things?
yeah. I feel like the arrogant answer is like, because no one's as smart as me.
I was actually going to say, but I don't think it's 100% smart. I think that there are people who have absolutely figured it out and been like, oh, we never
It's too
want to do
dangerous.
that. It's way too dangerous if it gets into the wrong hand. So I think people have figured it out and they just don't want to do it. But penance,
Oh yeah. What if
What is the danger?
go
Oh,
ahead.
no.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
I'm just wondering, is like, do they think like the danger is just the itself, or is there some? Well, the next question has drawbacks, so never mind. We don't need to figure
Okay.
that out. Is it? I want. So generally, like anything that is sort of like anti-ghost by the living is usually considered like a pretty good thing.
yeah.
But I wonder if
Is
like it
it
would draw the attention of the spirit wardens or something.
That's
Like
what
I
I was
wonder if it's the kind of
thinking.
thing that
Yeah, I was
like,
thinking the spirit
oh
ward.
shit, if we use this, then like the wardens would be up our asses because they wouldn't notice it or something like that.
Yeah, I would go so far as to say the spirit wardens could have been suppressing it, right? Like the moment they find out about people like making something, they like go in and seize it.
I just
Right.
imagine labs being like tables are emptied, right? And like plans are taken and they shut it down.
Can we flash back to when we were in Bellwether Crematorium and we were like being like moved around? We were walking through all their various labs. At some point, can we like flash to like Penance seeing like some people like doing a weird thing and being like, oh, I wonder what that. Does that sound cool to you, Kristen?
I love that.
Far as like your child, right? Like Penance, he broke in and he went to the basement and saw the other.
Oh
yeah.
So he had access to information. I go so far as to say like he brought stuff out for you, like bits and scraps of documentation that you could put together and figure things
out. And
out.
Penance could figure out the rest.
Did you all see
between what Ankh saw and the child did? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you all see the Netflix remake of Bebop, Cowboy Bebop?
Oh, I just saw the first episode.
Just the first episode.
Okay. Yeah. I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I would. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's terrible compared to the original anime."
It can be fun from what I saw, but anyway.
It was fun, and frankly, it told the story of Julia and Vicious and Fearless way better than the anime ever did. The anime, I was always just like puddles and fallen roses and Julia singing, and I don't fucking know what the hell happened, right? Like it was so vague, and this was like, no, we're just going to tell you the story. Which they made up whole cloth. It wasn't from the anime, but it was good. I liked it. Anyway, there's this one scene where Ayn projects out of its eyes, like its eyes are projectors.
Yeah.
And it was terrifying. But I just love the idea that at some point when the child came back, you like hook some diodes up to it, and then like out of its eyes flash onto the wall the things it saw in.
Nice. And it has the same owl freaky eye effect while it does it.
Yes. That's definitely what happened.
Cool. So now
this is a very cool montage where we see bits and pieces of how it came together, right?
Yeah. So now, Kristen, you have to ask the final question.
What drawbacks does this item have, if any?
I like how it goes, if any.
Yeah, right. Like you would ever say. And so, Ray, since you're there, you can probably see it, but everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
Here are the. You can pick any or all of these or more, but there's some good drawbacks there.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'll say, let's see. It has to be conspicuous because you're talking about the spirit wardens, right?
Totally. I love that.
And I also have to say it's volatile because of the spirit well situation, right? So the thing is like, you don't know if it's going to actually create an actual spirit well here, right? Which could disrupt, so because what you're trying to do is a mini spirit well, but it could just open up a real one.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why it's not used, right? Like we said. Yeah. Okay.
And
so I'm saying conspicuous and volatile.
I think we have to add one more, which is consumable. just by the nature of it, right?
Oh,
It's
true.
you use it up and it's gone. Then you have to
Oh,
remake
yeah.
it. It's not like a gadget you can just turn on.
No, it's a one-time use.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we know the drawbacks. So now to make it, you already have the formula. That's the difficult thing. You normally would have to do a long-term project or maybe several long-term projects to do it. So now all you have to do is craft it, which takes one downtime action, which you can just spend a coin to say we did. And you make a tinker roll, and the quality to determine the quality, and then you have to spend additional coin to meet each. So basically, if you get a 4 or 5, it's our tier, which is 2. If you get a 6, it's a tier above us, which is 3. If you get a crit, it's 4, and you still need it to be higher than that because we need 5. But we do have a workshop in our crew, I believe.
We do.
Yes, so it goes up by 1 tier automatically, and then you could spend additional coin.
Make it go higher.
So yeah, go ahead and make a tinker roll.
And you get the +1 because of the artificer you have.
Okay.
Yes.
Am I doing a tinker fortune roll?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because you can't really fail this. You can just have to spend more money.
Oh,
why'd you say that?
I know. I was like,
John, I blame you, Sean.
Well, okay. I have good news. You didn't get a bonus die. You got bonus effect. So, which is better.
Oh, okay.
So if we want to just call that just a 2, that we ignore that last die.
Yeah.
That means you get our tier -1, which is 1, +1 for workshop, which goes up to 2.
Yeah.
+1 more for being an artificer. Artificer just gives you +1
which is
effect
3.
level. 3. So now you got to spend 2 more coins. So a total of 3 coin to make this thing.
That's
1 to do the action, 2 more to bump it up to 5.
So I only have 1 coin. Do we have enough coin in our?
You're just out of luck. Yeah, we've got plenty of coin.
Do we?
Yeah. All right.
I led you down this path just to tell you no.
all of this just to say, oh, well, we don't have the coins. So
yeah.
Ignore the last 20 minutes.
Do you want me to just take 3 out of the crew
No,
coffers?
I have 1, so just 2 out of those.
I'll take 2 out of the crew coffers.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna take out my 1.
So that was a very long, involved flashback, but now you have a cool spirit ball grenade.
Yay!
That's awesome.
Yay!
That is dangerous, though. It's not trivial to use.
It wouldn't be our Blades game if it wasn't dangerous.
Yeah.
No, we play in hard mode.
Yeah,
so.
I wouldn't even want to do it.
Kristen, what's it look like to activate it? Do you pull a thing out, put a thing in, twist it, Rubik's cube the fucker? How does it how do you turn it on?
I'm thinking. Oh, I think that. Yeah, I think we said. I like that it's 2 oils, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 different color oils that move within it, and you have to turn this round, like key almost, right? Like the end of a key. You have to turn it and then pull it out, and then it starts to move. And I like the idea that the camera, right, because we have a big budget this season, goes in, and you can see it turn, right, and you can hear the click and it pull out, and then the oil starts to mix.
Nice.
And then Penance has to lob it or roll it into.
I feel like it has to be the same camera angle, way back when we saw Ankh open the spirit key, right? The ghost key. Yeah. It has to be a similar angle. Yeah. Just
I love it.
So people on Tumblr can put the 2 scenes side by side and go look what the creators were doing.
Yeah, nice. And I think that actually, Ray, you totally gave me the idea for how to assist here. I think Ankh says something to Cherry Blossom, who then looks to Baby Ankh and is like, I just need this for you, if it's okay for me to put words, and pulls the ghost key out of a pouch that I think Ankh can interact with, because it's meant to interact with the spectral world. And we see it sort of almost floating in the air or whatnot. We see Ankh kind of fade into existence as she turns the corkscrew of it to open up the to open up a door in the ghost field so that this grenade, when it's going in, it can land like both in the physical realm and in the ghost field. You know, like she opens up the ghost field so that the grenade can have greater effect. So that's how I'm assisting.
I love it. Thank you.
In this, because otherwise I'm like, I don't know how to help you throw a grenade.
No,
I can't really.
Do we? It's desperate still, correct? Yeah.
I regret to inform you that things are still.
I figured. I'm going to take 1 for Ankh assisting. Yeah. I'm going to push myself because I feel like if there was any time to
give
trauma,
you a bargain.
I know, but if there was any time to trauma out.
True enough.
Is this going to trauma you?
Oh, no, I have 1 left.
Okay, cool. Nice. Great.
Okay, I'm going to hit submit.
So you're doing a desperate wreck. What's the effect here? Right. I feel like it should be great, right?
Like, 100%.
Hold on, I gotta go back.
Yeah.
Great, definitely.
Because it's like you made a bomb specifically for this purpose.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's gonna. Yeah, you're throwing in a. Anyway, I'm not gonna say anything more because I'm a superstitious GM.
Okay. Can I just tell you, ever since we played Court of Blades on here, and it takes sometimes, because we're all so into it, 5 minutes to set up a dice roll, and like my heart starts to pound. I'm like, I can't fail after all this time.
I just need to make it.
I want to say I've been playing on Roll lately, and like so in Roll20 it just gives you the dice, and in Roll it's more heartbreaking because it goes through the different options. So sometimes I'll see like 6, and then it settles on a 1, and I'm like, I hate it.
No, it shows you the die rolling.
Mind.
Yeah, it is so hard on my heart. Like I still love Roll, but I'm just saying it's so hard.
Die rolling is like the smash or pass of the past.
Yeah.
But...
yeah.
1 pass. Anyway,
we have a 5. We have a 5.
So it works with severe consequences.
That's fine.
That we've been setting up this whole time. So we kind of so this is what happens.
Okay.
Right. It has to be in slow motion. Right. It has to be in slow motion. So as it gets thrown in, right, we see like there's a moment where you can sense like Penance because of the ghost key and your assistance. You're able to like there's a clear trajectory into when things pull apart. There's a moment when there's a mouth that comes apart into. I'm not going to go into more detail. Sure. But things pull apart. Right. The grenade goes right into the middle. It starts to like open up, and like all this light starts to like just kind of bleed out of it before it pulls it all back in, right? And starts to create this chain reaction. And we see this like small version. It feels like a spirit well, but it feels contained, right? And everything is going swimmingly. Penance, everything is going perfect, exactly according to plan. Back to all those formulas, you working at every single moment. And then things start to you feel the vertigo start to shift in the entire room, right? And you hear a voice behind your head that says, Penance, I've missed you so much. And you see Athea start to form in the middle of it as a spirit well that connects to the one that she was thrown into, starts to form its channel here. And so that's the first consequence, which you can resist.
Nice.
The second one is...
Got it.
The second one is, that's the exact moment when the timekeeper crashes through. And like very calmly, Cherry Blossom like places baby Ankh down into the ground, and Cherry Blossom says, I'll go take care of that. Vengeance will be ours. And like Cherry Blossom moves towards the timekeeper, right? And you know that the two of them are gonna have to like fight it out. So that's the second consequence.
Okay.
You can choose not to resist either.
I would very much like to resist the first one.
You really do not like Athea.
Mm-hmm. But if you want her back around, Kristen, if you feel like that's fun.
I just want it on record that Ankh appears a bit jealous. I'm just saying
doesn't appear.
Attention.
It's not appearance.
No, I think that's a good one to resist. But here's the thing: I only have 1 stress left.
No, I got it. I'm going to do the protect action. You resist for somebody else. The consequence becomes something you have to deal with.
Wow.
And
Kristen's face. Look at you, Unc, being a good person.
and
That's what her face looks like.
I want to flash back. I want a ghost sword. Just
Okay.
gonna say that right now.
My water. I was like,
Sure.
whoa.
I want a
So
ghost
casual.
sword. And the way I think I can get it within the fiction is to do an acquire asset downtime action where I flash way, way back to my mother dying with this same sword I have right now, and the promise that next time I get an advancement, I'm going to take Ghost Fighter, which allows me to interact with the ghost field, the ghosts on normal level. But this is a temporary use because I do not have this ability generally, because I am just remembering it now as baby Ankh is like somehow realizes that adult Ankh is there, and she says, "Don't you remember? Take mom's sword. She died so that you could use it." And I reach for the sword, and it stays in the sheath, but what comes out is my fucking ghost sword. And I tell Athea, "You will not haunt these lands again. I'm sending you back in there if I have to go myself." And leaps at Athea to hack away at her bits, at her ghostly bits, until she is driven back into the spirit world she came from, taking the chance that Ankh gets drawn into herself. So that I think we can handle it a couple of ways. We could just say it's a resist roll, and I just described it in a really overly dramatic way, or we could say I'm not resisting and I'm just making a skirmish roll against a ghost, and with all the incumbent dangers of like getting pulled into the spirit world myself and all that jazz. I'm happy to do it either way. Like resist just means it's stress. That's fine. But
I feel like in this case, Athea could really fuck things up. So I think it's a roll. Yeah. An action roll. Yeah.
Right.
So let's do that roll.
So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a coin out of the crew, because I don't have any, to do an acquire asset to have temporary use of this ghost sword. If that's cool with you. It's a bit of a weird acquire asset, but
oh no, when have I not welcomed the weird in this?
Right. But it's really like I acquired it 20 years ago. I mean, this is
totally fine.
And and we see child Ankh holding the sword in the scabbard. It's still there, and Ghost Ankh drawing the spectral version out. And
man, it has to be like a Shira kind of moment, right? It's very cool. By the power of my family.
Yes.
Sorry, so cool.
Yes.
Ghost sword. Yeah.
Yes. Ankhuset, the family you have trespassed against, the house of Ankhuset. You will go no further. And we see, emblazoned the serpent and the owl emblazoned on the blade of the sword. It was never there before, just like a normal sword before, but the ghost version of it has all the stuff. All right, so what's my skirmish position? That's what I'm doing. I'm skirmishing with her. If that wasn't clear.
Definitely desperate.
Yeah. Fair.
Let me just put together everything, right? In terms of the effect. Athea just came out of but it's a family sword. I'm gonna say standard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. In my mind, that means I drive her back into it, but I don't destroy her, right?
Yeah.
She's not
That's
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Let's just add a little thing here. Oh, and I don't have the dagger, which would be another thing that could have made sense in this case, but we gave that too.
I mean, I could offer you a bargain.
Okay. I can always listen to bargains.
Yeah. I mean, don't you have a personal clock that we put in earlier for you, my love?
Uh-huh.
Right? It is, let's see.
The first one clock up
Ankh
is pulled into whatever lies
yeah,
beyond the ghost
beyond the
field. You mean
ghost
like
field.
into the spirit well, that kind of thing? Yeah. I mean, I'm
Well,
getting very
whatever.
close to this thing that is sucking in all the other ghosts. So another tick on that clock?
Right.
Oh yeah, I'll take that for surezies. If we see Ankh again, we'll see even more of her is depleted.
Ooh.
But I think in this moment you probably do. I think in this moment you see her manifest.
Oh
You
yeah,
see,
from the light of the sword being
yes,
unsheathed. Yeah. I think at first it's this negative energy. Like we see your shadow against the wall before we see you. Would be really cool.
and
Oh, here we
suddenly
go.
Ghost Ankh is turned into is present. The sword is drawn, and she charges into the spirit well to send Athea back. And I think all this pretense of like, you can't trespass against my family, but finally in the end, there's just this growl of, you can't have her. And it's obviously about penance. It's all the pretense about anything else. No, it's about, she can't. It's about me being jelly. Submit, standard, 1 bonus die. Yes. Oh my God. Okay. Fantastic. Oh, sorry.
Wow, we have been saved by the bonus die.
Like 3
Like
times
every
tonight?
roll. Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Very good. Okay, so it is as you say. What does it look like when you hack through Athea with the family sword, right? What does it do to ghosts when it
Yeah,
makes contact?
I think like ghosts are sort of naturally look kind of like torn sheets anyway. And so I think when she hacks through it, like it cuts right through her, and Athea like kind of laughs. It's like, what do you expect a sword to do to me? And you can kind of see her like reforming. But then as it does, like it reforms with this when she reforms, there's like this scar where like it doesn't reform properly. And I think when she first reforms once, she's like, aha, I can't do anything, and then kind of looks down and realizes it's kind of fractured and her spectral self isn't holding together well. And then there's another cross blade, there's another cross, and we see another line, and we see her beginning to fracture, and like her spectral essence just can't maintain. That the blade actually does cause it to dissipate and essentially just turn her into motes of spectral energy by the end.
I love that. So good. Right. And so as you're doing this, right, you can feel Athea's like ability to hold on to this plane of existence, to this reality, like slipping away as she loses power, and the rest of that huge mass of like spirits and all of these things gets fully sucked into the grenade, and it just like almost anticlimactically just drops into the ground after all of that explosion and that light and that sword fighting, and then it's smoking there.
Nice.
Right, you can feel like the energy is like coming off of it, and then it just shakes a little bit. Oh my gosh, it's like a Pokeball anyway. And it shakes a little bit like it's gonna open again before it stays closed. Man, I have been haunted by Pokeballs, but anyway, I'm flashbacking every time I go, please stay closed. Anyway, so it's there, and it's holding, but that's when you hear like this horrible rending sound, and there's this smell of blood and flowers on the other side, and both of you can see just in time for like the timekeeper to just completely slice through like Cherry Blossom. Like its hand has like turned into like this blade like dagger thing, right? And you see Cherry Blossom like reform, and you hear her say, I have within my blood the desire for vengeance. I will not fall before you in such an easy manner. Right. And you see her like force herself to reform again and again, but she grows more bark like, more plant like, and less human each time. And then there's a moment when she turns to the both of you and she says, go.
Should we take a break?
Yeah. You think this is a good time to take a break?
Sure, let's do that.
I mean, I'm just wondering if this seems like a good time.
Perfect time, I think.
All right. Do we want to do a 3-minute break that's the length of the video, or do we want to do an indeterminate length where I just throw
Oh,
up
no,
the screen?
3 minutes.
3 minutes is good.
3 minutes
Yeah.
is good. Okay, sounds good. Friends, we'll find out what we do when we come back. See you soon.